Are you looking for a fat tire e-trike that you can take around the town? Well, Puckipuppy has come out with the Husky, and we're going to learn everything we need to know about this bike. So let's get into it. When it comes to the assembly of this bike, I'm just going to tell you it's going to take you a while. It took me about 2 hours to put this bike together. A lot of that time was spent trying to put these handlebars on and these rear fenders. So just take your time and just know that you need to definitely plot out some time to put this bike together. Now, the Husky will come to you as a Class 2 e-bike, which means it'll go up to 20 miles an hour via this half-twist throttle here on your right-hand side, your cadence sensor, and your 5 levels of pedal assist. This trike weighs 108 pounds, but has a payload capacity of 500 pounds. And currently, during the making of this video, well, this bike sells for $19.99 and comes with a 2-year warranty. This bike only comes in a step-through model, as you see right here. And Puckipuppy says that the average rider height is from 5 foot to 6'2". The Husky also comes in 4 colors: metallic gray, white, light green, and this light red that you see right here. Now, Puckipuppy says that the Husky will go between 45 to 60 miles on a single battery charge. Now, if you've seen my videos, you know that we're not going to get anywhere near that kind of mileage today with the abuse that I'm going to put this trike through. It has a 48 volt, 750 watt rear hub motor. It has a peak power of 960 watts and 85 Newton meters of torque. It has a 7-speed transmission with a Shimano tourney derailleur and the standard Shimano thumb shifter. For stopping power, you have a 2-piston hydraulic brake system with 160 millimeter rotors on the front and both wheels on the rear, which should give us excellent stopping power. The front forks are spring-loaded. They have 80 millimeters of travel. You cannot preload them, nor can you lock them out. It also comes with a suspension seat post that has 50 millimeters of travel. The tires are from Black Cat. They are 20 by 4 inches. They have a medium mountain bike pattern on them, and they are puncture resistant. This is where your battery sits. It's going to sit right underneath the seat post. It is a 48 volt, 18 amp hours with 864 watt hours of power. It is going to come with a 2 amp charger. It's pretty tiny, but it's a 2 amp charger, and you can charge this bike up in about 9 hours. Now, you can do that with this charging port right here while it's connected to the bike, or we can remove the battery and charge it someplace else. To remove the battery, we're going to take one of the 2 keys that comes with the bike. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to lift this seat up, and that moves it right out of the way with a little lever right here. And then we're just going to put our key in, release it, and pull it right out. There is also a battery indicator port right here to show you how much power your battery has. Now, to put it back in, well, we're just going to bring it down close, connect it in, lock it back up, put your seat down, and you're good to go. The Husky has a UL 2849 certification and an IPX rating of 6, which means it can handle high pressure streams of water from any direction. Additional features include plastic fenders, plastic pedals, a double chainring guard, large rear basket, a cargo strap, quick release seat post with a super wide seat and backrest, and a telescopic collapsible stem. Do you need to save some room whenever you are storing this bike? Well, this is a foldable trike, and the way you're going to do that is you're going to bring your handlebars down here first, then we're going to unlock the frame, open that up. Now, you can't fold it all the way back upon itself, but you can save a little bit of space by putting it right there. An issue that I see with folding the bike is that when you lock the brake, it only locks the wheel on the front. So as I want to bring it in and fold it up more, well, it's just going to roll back because the brake is on the front and not the back. Let's talk size and fit. The trike, when it's unfolded, is 71.7 inches long. And if you look at this bottom bracket down here, it is only 13 inches from the ground, making it super easy to get on and off. Now, it is adjustable for your different size riders. You can drop this seat all the way down to right here because you do have this suspension seat post section. And this is at its lowest setting. So right there, that's going to be for your shortest 5-foot rider. Now we're going to go ahead and move this seat up. There are no markings on the back. I don't see an area either that tells you when you're about out. So we're going to stop it at about right there. That looks good. Yep. And then we're going to bring this all the way up. This does have settings on it, so you can see. And that is set up for your highest rider. Holy cow, that thing is sitting up incredibly high. I think that if you were sitting up real high like that, well, you would be like top heavy. But that's just what I think. Now, I'm 5'9". I have a 32-inch inseam, 225 pounds. And this is what I'm going to look like sitting on the bike. You can tell that the suspension seat post works really well, and that should provide you a lot of comfort during today's ride. Cockpit Operations. On your left-hand side, you have this double locking grip. It has a nice leather cover on it, has this palm rest right here, some good looking stitching. Right here is your front brake lever. Now to activate your parking brake, you have to use your index finger and push this little lever up, and now the brake is locked. To release it, you're just gonna push in and let it go. And then right here is your control panel. To turn on the bike, before we can hit this button, we need to turn the battery on. Once that is done, we're just gonna hold this power button until the display lights up. It takes a while. This is your display. It is full color. It is kind of muted because of this glass right here, but you can see everything better than what you can see it on film. Right here is going to tell you your pedal assist levels. This right here tells you how much battery power you have. This will tell you your speed, and this is how many miles are on the bike and what pedal assist level you're in. Right here tells you your different pedal assist levels. To go up in pedal assist levels, you're just going to hit your up arrow right here, and it's going to take you all the way up to 3, 4, and 5. As you can see, this lit up as it went up in pedal assist levels. Then we're going to use our minus button and go ahead and put it all the way down to 0. When it's down in 0, we have 0 throttle and 0 assist to the bike. To turn your headlight on, you're going to hit this button right here, and to turn it off, you're just going to do the same. This is your front headlight. It is bigger than your average bike, but it also looks like these areas should light up. That would have been really cool. That would have provided more light, but I do like how this light looks. Your tail light lights up whenever you hit the headlights, and this is what it looks like when you hit the brakes. I feel like they're missing a lot of area that could light up. It seems like there's a lot more to this tail light than what is used. And then when your headlight is turned off, well, this is what your brake light looks like when it's applied. This bike also comes with an electric horn. This bike also has cruise control. We'll be going over that feature here in a minute. If you want to learn more about your trip, you can hit your down button and the light button at the same time. It takes you to a different screen. Right here it is, and that's where it's going to give you your average speed, max speed, your trip, and your trip odometer. Give it a second, and it kicks back to the front screen. On your right-hand side, you have your half-twist throttle right here. This is your rear brake lever, and this is your shifter. You use your thumb to push this lever to take it down in gear, and then you use your thumb to push this button to bring it up in gear. Let's hop into the advanced settings. To get into that, you're just going to hold your plus and minus button down at the same time. It's going to take you into a new screen. And from here, we can control the brightness by just hitting this. And we're going to take it up. You know what? Let's make it brighter. Let's get it up to level 3. And then you hit the power button to accept it. You go down into unit. This is where it bounces between miles per hour and kilometers. Startup mode. When you go ahead and click into that, free mode means that the throttle will work without you having to pedal it. And safe mode means you have to be pedaling before the throttle will work. We're going to keep it right there. And then let's go ahead and reset the trip mileage. I like this fact because now you know your trip isn't going to just reset whenever you turn off the bike. Right there, then it takes you back to the main setting. How about we get this trike out on the road and see how it does? So my biggest issue that I've had with this bike and putting it together is these fenders keep hitting the tires. And no matter how many times I adjust it, they're rubbing. So I'm just going to take them off for this review. I mean, it could just be with my particular bike, but these were so hard to get on and to get them lined up correctly. And then I had to bend them to make it work. And now they're still rubbing up against the tire. So please hold. Okay, we have them taken off now. So now they're not going to make any noise or whatever. Plus, it's not going to be a rainy day. I don't need them for today for this review. For those who haven't seen my videos before, I live in the city of Chicago, and I do my reviews all throughout the city. This is the 606 trail. This is where I start off all my reviews and normally end them here as well. Now we are currently riding the bike or the trike on pedal assist 0, which means I'm not getting any assist to the pedaling, nor will the throttle work. So we're cruising at about 9 miles an hour. I have it in gear 4. It's an easy ride. Let's check out the throttle. Now it is on pedal assist number 1. We're just going to use throttle only and see how fast the bike will go in each pedal assist level. Oh, it is not dictated by the speed or by the pedal assist level that you're in, and it's going to take us all the way up to 18, 19. Is it going to get us to 20? Nope, looks like 19. Oh, it did hit 20 for a second. So 20 miles an hour will be our fastest speed by using throttle only, and it doesn't matter what pedal assist level you are in. Let's go ahead and try out the pedal assist only. I do have it in pedal assist number 1. Let's see when you start pedaling how fast each level is going to get you to. 7 miles an hour is going to be the fastest you go in pedal assist number 1. Let's go ahead and kick it up to 2 and see what that does. 9 miles an hour in pedal assist number 2. Let's go for 3. 12 miles an hour in pedal assist number 3. Let's try 4. 15 miles an hour in pedal assist number 4. It bounces right between 14.9 and 15 miles an hour. And 19 miles an hour is what we're getting in pedal assist number 5. Now I have to tell you, we are ghost pedaling at this point. Well, barely. If I crank down hard, I can hit 20 miles an hour. I just can't hold it. Let's do a display versus speedometer check. And the display is showing that we're doing high 18s, 19 miles an hour, somewhere around there. And our GPS is showing that we're doing 19 miles an hour. There we go, 19 to 19. It's basically correct. When it comes to my initial thoughts about this bike, well, the seat is super comfortable. It is a little bit too wide for me to sit back comfortably on it. Like, it does have this backrest, but if I sit on the seat to the part to where I feel the backrest supporting my back, well, then I can't really pedal the bike. I don't know if it's because of my little T-Rex legs or whatever. This is the off-road part of this review. Oh gosh. I mean, it's doing just fine. It's got the tires for it. It's got the suspension. I mean, the suspension seat post right here does make it nice to take this thing across the trail. Well, we're not on a trail, but across, you know, rough terrain. It's not that rough though either. But I mean, if you're having a bike like this, you're not buying it to do this kind of stuff in it, but at least you know you can if you need to. Woo. You know, this bike does come, it does come, hang on. Okay, there we go. It does come with a non-suspension seat post as well. So if you don't want a suspension seat post, it comes in the box and you can install that instead. But why would you want to? It is time for the hill climb, and I have to tell you, I am concerned. This hill right here in front of me goes from 18% grade all the way up to 20, and as slow as this bike takes off, I don't know if we're gonna have the power to make it up, which means I'm gonna have to turn around while on this hill, and that's just gonna be scary. But here we go, we're gonna do it with throttle only, so let's go. Oh, let's take the brake off. All right, we are off to actually a stronger start than what I thought, and this is where it gets concerning right here. Come on, baby. Come on, we're at like 5 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour, but we are still making it. You can do it. I got faith in you. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Ooh, there we go. We did make it up the hill. I am super happy about that. Glad I didn't have to make a turnaround while, oh my gosh, here we go. Oh boy. Get over here. Get over here. Oh. All right, we're gonna kick it down in some gears here, and then we're gonna try it with pedal assist only. All right, still we're in pedal assist number 5. I put it down to gear 4. Let's go and see how it handles it. I mean, it picked up, it gave us power pretty quick. Ooh, I'm gonna have to kick it down in a gear. There we go. I dropped it all the way down into gear 2, and you're gonna be able to make it up. I mean, we are going faster. We're doing 7 miles an hour as opposed to the 4. I mean, I feel like I'm rattling around, but we did it. We made it. Oh, making those turns are always, yeesh. There we go. I feel much safer going up a hill than I go down the hill. Let's talk about how to turn this thing, right? So you got to lean into it on whatever turn direction that you're going, right? So we're going to turn to the right. So we're going to lean to the right. And I mean, and it turns really sharp. Woo. I felt that back wheel coming off. Oh, almost, yeah, this bike's pretty powerful when it needs to be. So you got to kind of watch it when you're riding it and making these turns. Just lead hard into them and you should be fine. One thing I can say about this bike is that this paint job is gorgeous. I mean, this red is just shining in the sun. Well, I don't know if you can see from the shadows that I'm making because of the way the sun is, but trust me, it's a beautiful bike. All right, guys, it is time to do the sand test, and I know this bike should have no problem doing it at all. I mean, we have 3 fat tires going across the sand, so it should be pretty easy. I still have it in pedal assist 5, I have it in gear 4, and we're just going to shoot across this sand and see how it does. And right now, I'm just using throttle only, and we are just moving right along, no problem. I mean, I figured it would be able to make it through the sand. Woohoo! There we go. Oh, I haven't had to pedal yet. Oh, it's starting to slow down. Okay. Okay, I got it. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Ooh, we were on 2 wheels there for a second. So not only can this bike get you to the beach, but it has no problem making it through the beach. This bike does have cruise control. I mentioned that we would be trying that out later. Went ahead and put it here. Let's get the throttle going. It doesn't work unless you're using throttle only. So let's get a steady pace going with that. And now we're going to go ahead and hold the minus button down until the icon comes on, which shows up right there. And now we are using cruise control, which it will stay in effect and hold the speed until we either hit the brakes or we give it more throttle. I was pedaling this, I'm like, oh, this just got really easy for some reason. And it looks like my chain got off the chain ring. Ah! There we go. Now we're back at it. It is time to do the brake test. I do expect this bike to stop really quick because it does have 3 sets of 2-piston hydraulic brakes. So let's go. We're going to get it up to 20 miles an hour and slam on the brakes and see what happens. Nice. This thing stopped right at 17 feet, which is really impressive. Although I expected it to stop as quick as it did. I mean, if you're going down a hill, kind of lose control, you can slam on the brakes, you'll be just fine. This is a stopper for sure. This is how it looks with me riding this bike. Now I am sitting towards the front of the seat like I mentioned earlier, because if I sit towards the back and use this backrest, well, then my arms barely reach and, you know, it makes it a little bit harder to control it. So the only way I get to use this backrest is whenever I stop someplace and, you know, get to lean back on it. But really, for me to ride this bike comfortably, this is how I need to ride it. Also, when I sit back towards the back, the seat feels kind of wide. So because of that, it just makes it feel like, it just makes me like bow-legged while I ride it. Oh, ooh, speed bump. All right. This is a good time where you can see how bright and shiny this bike is. It is a beautiful bike for sure. Ooh. But you got to watch, man. You're gonna hit these bumps and stuff like that whenever you are on uneven pavement. Let's go. Oh, there we go. All right, guys, this is a good place to go ahead and try out the walking feature with this bike. We do have it in pedal assist 4. To make this work, we have to drop it down into 0, and then we're going to hold the minus button and wait for the bike to take off. And let's see if it does. There we go. Now this bridge doesn't have too much of an angle to it, and we are making it. We're moving about 1 mile an hour. So you just have to make sure that you're clearing the back tire as you're walking it up the hill. Now that we know the walking feature works, went ahead and put it into pedal assist 5. And yeah, and it's just, this thing, even though it doesn't go fast, has a lot of torque. I mean, it has as much torque as a lot of the many other bikes, but it seems to use it very well and give you that low end torque when right when you're at a hill. Check it out, guys. This is the beautiful Chicago skyline. I'm glad that this bike made it all the way up to here. This is my favorite part of any review. I just love this view. I've been in Costa Rica for a week. I haven't seen it. I haven't done any reviews. So I am super happy to be back out here at Lakeshore Trail here in Chicago. Now with any trike, it does take a bit to get used to riding it. At this point, let me see, I've put about 11 miles on this bike. So I feel pretty comfortable on how to control it at this point. And that is one of the things that you have to think about when you move from riding a bike to riding a trike, is that you always have to lean into those turns to make sure that it just feels right and that you're doing it safely. I also wouldn't take a turn at a high speed on any trike, whether it be this one or any other one. Oh no, I forgot that I'm coming up. This part of the trail is at an angle. Oh, and I was just talking about how comfortable I feel on it. This is gonna go kind of slow because I'm gonna be like leaned over like this to make it so that I feel safe. At this area right here, we're coming up to it. And that's where I guess the throttle comes in, because in that way, oh yeah, so see, I'm sitting a little bit off of the seat, leaning this direction, feels totally fine. I don't know how it would be pedaling. Let me try that. Nope, that is not ideal. But if you're just using the throttle, leaning a little bit to, you know, against the curb, but you can't see it because this thing probably has horizontal lock on it and everything looks straight. But trust me, we are at an angle right now, which is funny because right when I saw this coming up, I was a little bit concerned, but now I'm not at all. This is a pretty comfortable ride. This hill is taking a lot of battery power. Normally we're at half. We're at 50% battery power right now. I don't know if you guys can see that with this display. You know, it is kind of, it's a overcast day. I can see the display pretty clear, but it's always, I've used these displays before, and I've never been a huge fan on how it tells you what your battery power is, or battery level is, which right now it's showing that we're at 50%. But if we hit a hill and we have to start cranking it, well, then it's gonna drop down to 30. You know, let's go a different way for a change. Oh, rough road, rough road. Oh, big hole coming up. Oh, 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 that is scary. I am literally right downtown Chicago. Not really sure this is the place to be on a trike, but that's what we're dealing with. All right, as I'm taking a look at this battery indicator, it goes up to 6 levels, right? And so we're down to 3. This is the only issue with having a trike, is that you can't fit through like some of the areas here when you have traffic. Let's go. I guess we do fit. Thank you. You helped me out a little bit. I just stopped off at the bike shop, and I was talking to him about the fenders. And normally every single bike that I get goes to the bike shop to get like adjusted and stuff like that. And I told him what the deal was with the fenders, and he just kind of looked at me and smiled. And he basically told me, I'm the problem. I am the problem with these fenders. It's not the fenders themselves. So he said, bring the bike by, which I should have in the first place, and they're gonna go ahead and do all their special work to it. Another thing that about this battery indicator, I have the throttle going and it's dropped it all the way down to number 2, but whenever I let go, it's gonna jump it up a whole other level. So it's one of those ones where I wish I had the volts, where it shows you how many volts you have, because then that would give you more of an idea of how far you can go. I am pretty far from home and the battery started flashing, so you can't really see it. You have very little it's this orange and it just doesn't show up that well, but I noticed it when it started flashing though when I looked down at it. So now I really am wondering if we're gonna make it home. At this point we won't be using throttle at all, because I need to try to conserve as much power as I can, but I am going to leave it in pedal assist number 5 for now. And normally pedal assist number 5 has you doing 20 miles an hour. Right now, 17 miles is about the fastest we can go. This bike rides really nice though. Even though I am sitting forward up on the seat, the thing rides very smooth. And even though we're dropping in battery level pretty quick at this point, and it's flashing, which you guys can't see, we don't have any pulsing or anything like that going on, because I assume at this point we're down to single digit numbers on the battery. This is where you lean into the turn. And then lean this way through the middle. Oh, got it on 2 wheels. What we're going to do is we're going to go a mile out and a mile back, because I still want to see what this display is going to do once we, tap it out of power or make it extremely low. Now the battery indicator is consistently flashing. So I am assuming we're down to maybe the last 5%. At this point, we've really dropped down into speed. We're only doing 13, 14 miles an hour. I can feel the bike starting to get heavy. So I think up here I'm going to turn around and head back. I don't really think there's much left in this battery. At this point, we are almost out of power. I'm going to take it home because we're only doing 10 miles an hour and it's slowing down. And I do have it into pedal assist 5. So I have it at the highest setting it could go. Normally this has us doing 20 miles an hour, but we're down to 10. It is time for my final thoughts. I made it home. As I was pulling up, I was only doing about 5 miles an hour, so I knew that this thing was pretty much spent. But when I took a look at the display for distance, the display shows that I went 25.2 miles. But when I took a look at Strava showed that I went 26.7. So Strava showing that we went 1.7 miles farther than what the display is showing us. Now let's talk about some of the things that I enjoyed about it. These brakes feel really good, and I knew that they would, considering that they're hydraulic and there's 3 of them on this bike. So because of that, you definitely feel in control whenever you are going to stop. The 20-mile-an-hour speed limit that it has on this, at first I thought, man, that's gonna feel fast. But when you are going straight and you're just moving down the road, it feels pretty good. I mean, the other one, I reviewed another one that only went 15 miles an hour. You can definitely feel the difference between that one and this one felt nicer at those higher speeds. Now, one of the things that I liked about this bike as well was this suspension seat post, right? And the fact of, when you're bouncing around on it. But the seat though, that's the thing I have questions about, because as I showed you, for me to ride this bike comfortably, I have to be all the way up towards the seat. If I sit back, the seat seems to be a little bit too wide, and it makes you feel kind of like bow-legged when you're doing it, kind of stops your thighs from going down and pedaling correctly. Plus, when I lean back all the way against this backrest, my little T-Rex arms only, I was like stretched out as far as I could, kind of like, inhibiting how I would be able to steer with the bike. But that just could be me on how I'm built. Who knows? But I just wanted to cover that with the bike. Also, when it comes to these fenders, when I talked to the bike shop about them, they said, hey, I'm the problem. I'm the problem. The problem in the fenders, he saw how they were and he's like, oh, I know how to, adjust those very quickly. So I would suggest that anyone who gets one of these, you take it to your local bike shop and have them make all the adjustments that you need to have done to it. The display, not a huge fan of how the battery shows how much battery level that you have with it. If it had like voltage or just a different type of display, that would be better. But now we know that if you're going to keep it in pedal assist level 5, that you're going to get 25 miles on the display out of this bike before you're going to run out of power. And well, that is if you run it through the sand, climb the hills with it, which this bike is a hill climber. It did just fine going up the hill. Even though I wasn't sure that it was going to make it, it made it just fine. And as you would suspect, this thing is a beast in the sand. Now, if you are interested in a Puckipuppy Husky, I'm going to leave a link down in the description below. If I have a discount code, I'm going to throw that down there as well, so you guys can save a little bit more money on this bike. But overall, I think this is a decent trike. I did like having the fact that I had all my camera equipment in the back and not on my backpack in this big basket back here. And I can see you being able to put a lot of stuff back here in the future. So I want to thank you for watching. And until I see you again, enjoy the ride.